Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a nice Sunday so far. I am. And yesterday was wonderful. We went out to dinner to celebrate my sister-in-law Joyce's birthday. I consider her my sister. And we went to Don Pepe's restaurant in Queens, which is our favorite Italian restaurant ever. We went with my mom, with our niece Tracy and her husband Josh, with Joyce, who's my sister, and Paul, her boyfriend, and our son Justin, and our daughter-in-law Sam, and Rick and me, and my mom. Can't forget my mom. So it was wonderful. And before that, we went to my mom's and we took her food shopping, and because we tried our hardest to get her signed up with Aldi for food delivery. It worked at our computer. It's not working for her computer. So she's going to give me an order whenever she needs it, and I will place the order for her, and then she'll get the food delivered to her apartment, which is wonderful. So we got all that done, even though I ended up getting into an argument with this couple who, some people are just so rude. It's unbelievable. My mom introduced me to a friend of hers that we ran into in the store. And we're going around, we get to the refrigerated section, and her friend is getting something out of the refrigerated sections there. And this man is holding the door, getting something for himself, which that's fine. Then he's done, so he lets the door go, and it hits my mother's friend pretty hard. Now, even if I didn't know her, I would have said something, because I'm like, how do you do something like that and not apologize? So I turned to him and I said, "Excuse me, you just hit that lady with the door." And he ignored me. Finally, his wife says something, and because the lady turned also and says, "You hit me with the door and you hurt me." Nothing. And then his wife says, "It was an accident." I said, "You still say you're sorry?" No apology. And then she says, "Well, what's she doing in the freezer?" She wasn't in the freezer. She was getting something out of a refrigerated case, just like that woman's husband had been doing. Well, no apology, none whatsoever. And I felt better for saying what I said. And it just showed me that, just like when I was teaching, these children, that the parents never give them rules. There are never consequences for their behavior. This is what they grow up into. Nasty people who don't apologize for anything they do and think whatever they do is absolutely wonderful. And then when we were paying, we were at the self-checkout. The shopping cart got away from me a little bit, and I was afraid it was going to hit someone, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye, a woman. I couldn't tell who it was. So I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I moved the cart. It was the wife of that lovely gentleman. And I wanted to say to her, "This is what you do when something like that happens. I didn't intentionally have the cart get away from me. And when it did, I said, I'm sorry." But I didn't say that to her because it wouldn't have gotten me any further than what I had already said had gotten me. I just wanted to teach them a lesson. But people like that, they've been doing this their whole lives, so they're not going to learn anymore. Awful. But anyway, I got my mom everything she needed, and we got it paid and everything, and then we came back, got it all put away, and then we got ready to go to the restaurant and had a wonderful, wonderful dinner. We had baked clams, we had linguine and white clam sauce, we had shrimp luciano, which is shrimp in a butter sauce, and we also had, it was like chicken franchise. Delicious, every single thing. It was wonderful. And the company was wonderful too. And then we drove my mom back home, and then we went home. So it was a great day all around. Today, we cleaned Nugget's coop. She got a blueberry pancake. Rick and I, after that, we got ready. We went to the gym because there was no time yesterday. And I did 8 minutes on the elliptical, and then I did about 40 minutes on an exercise bike. Phew, and my face was the reddest it's ever been when I was done, but it felt great. And I had gone about 10 miles altogether, so that was great too. And we came home, we had lunch, I got a load of laundry started, I gave Nugget her fly larva, and part of a plum, so she's very happy. And now it's time for Stories for Grownups with Paula. So hi Phyllis, hi Kathy, and hi everyone else who's watching. I'm going to continue with What the Chicken Knows. Okay. People think they know lots about chickens, and you think they would. There are 4 living chickens for every living person in the world. And since by definition they are domestic fowl, they are a separate subspecies from their wild ancestor, the red jungle fowl of Southeast Asia. All of them live among humans. There are at least 4 places in the United States named after chickens, including the towns of Chicken, Alaska, which was supposed to be named after a local grouse, the ptarmigan, but nobody could spell it, and Chickentown, Pennsylvania, named after its many poultry farms. In 1939, the Delaware State Legislature, braving the opposition of the State Federation of Women's Clubs of Delaware, which wanted the cardinal instead, selected the blue hen chicken, a local variety but not a true breed, as its state bird. Still, chickens are rarely celebrated in our culture and rarely given the respect they deserve. I once sat next to a man on an airplane who detailed for me at length the attributes of the species. They are stupid, disgusting, filthy, cowardly, occasionally cannibalistic automatons, he said. How had he acquired this opinion? It turned out he had worked at a factory farm, the sort of place where most chickens are raised for food in the United States, in a dirty, overcrowded warehouse that resembled a prison camp. They're horrible. This is not the best place to get to know someone, nor is a dinner plate. Yet for most of us, our relationship with chickens is generally of a culinary nature. In fact, the first definition for the word chicken I encountered on the internet doesn't even mention that it's a bird. It's the flesh of a chicken used for food. The average American eats more than 100 pounds of chicken per year, according to the National Chicken Council, making it the most popular meat consumed in the United States. Worldwide, some 70 billion birds yearly are roasted, boiled, Kentucky fried, and turned into everything from McNuggets to the famous Jewish penicillin chicken soup. One of my friends, an award-winning journalist and talented cook, was shocked to learn when she was nearly 40 that it is physically possible to make soup without chicken stock. The disturbing fact that on the way to the soup pot, a chicken can continue to run around after decapitation does little to bolster appreciation for the species' more refined traits. One rooster was able to live for 18 months after his head was cut off. Farmer Lloyd Olson, hoping to please his visiting mother-in-law, who particularly savored boiled chicken neck, failed to kill the rooster when his axe missed the bird's carotid artery and left one ear and most of the brainstem intact. Not only did the victim survive, but he grew from 2.5 pounds to 8. And attained national fame as Mike the Headless Chicken on the sideshow circuit from 1945 to 1947. Even now, the rooster's hometown of Fruita, Colorado, holds the Mike the Headless Chicken Festival the third weekend in May each year, a day of races, games, and food intended, as its organizers say, to celebrate the bird's admirable will to live. But alas, Mike's story also perpetuates the one fact most people claim to know about chickens, that they are automatons too stupid to know if they're dead or alive. But as I've come to learn over the decades of sharing my life with successive flocks of these affectionate, industrious, and resourceful birds, almost everything people know about chickens is wrong. My friend Gretchen Moran began my education. When my husband and I bought the 150-year-old farmhouse we've been renting in southwest New Hampshire, she gave us our first flock of hens as a barn warming present. Gretchen raised organic vegetables and Connemara ponies on a farm near our house. And when she had moved there years earlier, a friend had given her the gift of 12 hand-raised black hens. Gretchen had been delighted at the prospect of fresh, free-range brown eggs every day, but the flock provided much more. It was the most incredible gift anyone ever gave me, she said. I had been given the gift of an entire world, a whole chicken universe. Of course, back then, I had no idea what she was talking about, but I was eager for a flock of my own. Every animal I have ever known has bettered my life in some way. I love birds. I have lived with finches and parakeets, cockatiels and lovebirds, and a gorgeous red and blue Australian parrot called a crimson rosella. But I had never lived with a whole flock of them. What would the hens reveal? You'll see, Gretchen promised. Nothing has ever made me happier. At the Agway feed store, Gretchen ordered for us 12 chicks of the same breed she'd first owned, black sex lynx, so named because the females can be identified upon hatching by their all-black color, averting the problem of raising a coop full of jealous roosters, and hand-raised them in a heated trailer on the farm. My husband and I would often visit them there, holding one or two peeping chicks in our hands or on our laps or tucked into our sweaters, speaking softly to each other so she would know us. When they were old enough, no longer balls of fluff, but sleek, slim black miniatures of their eventual adult selves, they moved into our barn. Our travels in the chicken universe had begun. And that's where I'm going to stop for today. I will continue more next time. It's very interesting, I think, and how cute that they got to see them. That's the cutest thing when they're chicks. Oh my goodness. When I taught at one of the daycares I taught at, we got for the pre-K classes, they got eggs that hatched into chicks. For 2 weeks, we had them at the school, and adorable, adorable, adorable. And I got to hold them, and I loved them, and I felt so bad when they had to go back to the farm. It was so much fun and so interesting, and I recommend chickens. If anybody's looking for an interesting pet, that's what I think a chicken is. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day today. And don't forget to follow me because I'm fun. You can find Stories for Grownups with Paula on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me everywhere I post because it makes me so happy when I see I have more followers. Enjoy your day, everyone. I know I will. Bye-bye.